Welcome, everyone, to Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. And tonight, we're going to talk about Nintendo. They've been dominating the news a lot lately with everything from their console to their games. And this is not so much good news. This is more of a, are you kidding me? Really? So, what was something we were all afraid of was going to happen when the Switch 2 was coming out? They were going to be super expensive because of tariffs. Well, we knew it was too good to be true, right? Nintendo has announced the U.S. price rise for the original Switch and warns price rise for the Switch 2 and the games. And the Nintendo Switch Online membership may be necessary in the future. I don't know what that means, but I mean, a Nintendo Switch Online membership, is their membership to pay for? Or are they talking about the free membership? We'll kind of dive into what's being said in the article and go from there. But before we do that, if you're not subscribed to this channel, why not? Help us out. We could use all the help we can get. We're just a bunch of gamers who like to talk shit about video games, and everything else. Anything gaming related, right? We've even got some Magic Gathering card series. We do board game, but we don't really talk about that a whole lot. You know, that might be something people are interested in, that we could do some board gaming stuff, like learn to play, how to play sessions. But let's get on with this, but make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help us out. All right, and on with the news about Nintendo. Nintendo has announced a range of price rises for various OG Switch products in the U.S. and warned price rises for the Switch 2 video games, and the Nintendo Switch Online membership may be coming down the line. Price rises, which are based on market conditions, Nintendo said, come into effect on August 3rd. So by the time you watch this video, they will already be in effect. However, they briefly kicked in at Target, as spotted by Twitter member Wario64. Assuming the new prices shown at Target are correct, they're as followed. The Nintendo Switch was $299, is now $339. The Nintendo Switch OLED, $349 up to $399. So you can kind of see almost a $50 price increase on that one, kind of $40 on the other one. Nintendo Switch Lite was $199, is now $229. The Nintendo's, a few other things that are kind of outside of that kind of went up too. The Nintendo Sound Clock Alarm was $99, is now up $110. The Joy-Con 2 controllers are up to $100 from $94.99. So the announcement comes a month after Nintendo signaled price rise in Canada. So we got a little bit of delay, right? Which are also based on market conditions. So it's whatever condition Nintendo feels like telling you the market's in. That's what it is. Nintendo has yet to go into further detail. In today's announcement, Nintendo said the newly launched Switch 2 physical and digital Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as the Nintendo Switch Online membership, will not be impacted by the impending price adjustment, though all models of the original Switch, the OG Switch Lite, and the Switch OLED are impacted. Certain Switch 2 accessories, select Amiibo and Nintendo Sound Clock Alarm Clock, will also have their prices go up, which we saw in the Target ad. In a post to its website, Nintendo issued the following statement. Pricing for the original Nintendo Switch family of systems and products will change in the United States based on market conditions, effective August 3rd, which we've kind of talked about this, but this is their exact words. Effective August 3rd, 2025. These include Nintendo Switch OLED model, Nintendo Switch Lite, and select Nintendo Switch accessories. Other Nintendo products, including certain Nintendo Switch 2 accessories, select Amiibo, and Nintendo Sound Alarmo clock, will see a price adjust also. Pricing for the Nintendo Switch 2 system, physical and digital Nintendo Switch and Switch games, as well as Nintendo Switch Online membership, will remain unchanged at this time. However, please note that price adjustments may be necessary in the future. So they always got to throw that little thing in there. Prices are subject to change whenever the hell we decide, right? Subject to change whenever we say. So a lot of analysts are pointing to the tariffs as the reason, but that really didn't go into effect the way they were expecting it to. So I think, you can point fingers wherever you want. So, but I mean, they did put like 20% tariffs on Vietnam and 30% on China and 15% on Japan, which is where these consoles are manufactured. So, of course, things are going to go up, but if you put a 20% tariff on something, I mean, I don't know, what are you going to do? Just stop shipping them out of Just build them over here. There you go. Problem solved, right? It is what it is. There is no place in gaming for politics, but there is a place for politics and the cost of gaming. So it is what it is. The market is going to dictate what games are sold as well as demand, right? I guarantee you Nintendo would soil their pants and turn around and make a 180-degree change on those prices if they noticed a significant drop in sales figures for that. If they saw like a 60% drop in sales because of the price increase, they'll turn tail and bring that thing right back down. Guarantee it. But that won't happen. People will still buy it. We are in a society of instant gratification and a society of where I can't wait for something. Everybody's guilty of it, including myself. I'm not blameless in this, but people got to rush out and buy stuff at exuberant cost, even if it means that you're going to be eating ramen or hot dogs or cracker packets with ketchup on it for the next month to catch up on that. People do that.
Just like mom always made.
Right. You knew when that carton of cigarettes got bought because you were eating crackers and ketchup for the next week. Right? So,
oh, mom got filtered. Oh, yeah. We're not eating this week.
We're not eating this week. Yep. So your dad got that Miller High Life 18 pack, and she got the carton of smoke. So, all right. It is what it is, in my opinion. I don't know who in this day and age is looking at a Switch and buying it over a Switch 2. I don't know. There's probably people out there. But to me, this has to strike at a little bit of Nintendo's bottom line, or maybe this is playing into exactly what they're hoping. Because when I saw that a Switch OLED was going up to $100 cheaper than a Switch 2, I'm like, would I just not logically go, I'd rather have a Switch 2 for $100 more? Is that their plan? Right? I mean, I don't know. Shane, what do you think about this price increase on just the OG and not the new one? Not Switch 2.
Without doing any political bullshit, I believe that tariffs are a big part of it. But I also think that Nintendo is using that as a excuse to, I don't want to say manipulate, but I'm going to say manipulate anyways. To manipulate people into buying Switch 2s over Switches. Now, I don't know. I haven't looked at the last Switch release. Or did I look earlier? I can't remember what their sales were for last year or something. But Nintendo, they did just fine with the 150 million Switches that they sold, or whatever the hell the number was. But are they using that as to kind of, all right, well, like Pat said, if it's $100 more, why not get the one that should play the games like they should have been played originally? That makes sense. Absolutely, tariffs are going to have a part of it, but I think another part is just the fact that Nintendo is trying to use this to steer people towards the Switch 2, which makes absolute sense. You want that new console in the market. You want it to sell well in the market. You want it to do better than your old console. But it's also the fact that, I still want to sell the Switch too, the regular Switch as well. So money's money. But I think they put thought into it. That's just a personal opinion. I can't say what Doug Bowser or the regular Bowser are thinking. But
the Bowser's thinking, how can I make money on this while I'm in prison?
Exactly. So if there's certain products that they're not increasing prices on. Certain, I think it was the Amiibos.
Certain Amiibos are going up.
Yeah,
that's what it meant. Select Amiibos. Yeah.
So I'm guessing those are probably the made in Mexico ones or something like that.
Right, the ones that aren't made in those 3 countries that have the tariffs on it. That the Switches are made out of.
So, Nintendo has to make money. These companies are not gonna. What's the phrase? Eat. They're not going to eat the tariffs. They're not. I'm going to eat the tariffs. Pat's going to eat them, and sooner or later we're not going to have anything to eat. So it's just the way it is.
Men in tights. If I don't get no tolls, I don't eat no rolls.
There you go. Exactly, and that's just the way it is. It's I mean, I don't claim to know everything about the business world, but I do know business wants profit. That's just the way business works. You need profit. You can't not have profits. So they're going to raise their prices. They set their goal for this much money, and they're going to get that much money, no matter what the customer or even employees have to do with it. They're going to get that money. Investors don't tolerate no loss. That's just the way it is.
Yep.
Now, I would like to think Pat's right though. If they see a decline in Switch 2s or any of these items, I would like to think they would turn around and say, all right, we're going to drop prices down, $20 or whatever. But I don't think they'll do it, period.
They may run more specials, right? Like more
specials, bundles, things like
Yeah.
that. Because the Switch 2 with Donkey Kong or with Mario Kart was
save $30 freaking dollars on the
30,
game.
yeah, $30 cheaper.
Because the game was 80. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
We got it for 50 with the bundle.
Yeah. So I think they might try to run that a little bit more. But I don't see them lowering their prices. This is the first generation of consoles that I have in my many years on this effing planet have not seen a price drop.
No. Well, I mean, I guess if you're counting the PS5 and the Xbox Series and that, because they both raise prices.
Exactly.
Yeah, because usually technology, things get cheaper and we get a price discount like almost at the end of life on these things, and we didn't get that.
Nope.
We got a price increase.
Yes. We got just dry humped. That's all we got out of it. And you can blame that on economies. You can blame that on tech issues. Material cost, all that crap. But
it's greed.
It's greed. I mean, especially the not lowering the cost of the older consoles. That's bullshit. That's
I would think that you would just at this point stop making them and try to sell out your inventory so you can push more Switches. But it sounds like they're still manufacturing Switches, and I'm like,
yeah,
what?
Well, they might have a surplus sitting in a warehouse too. They may have when they were watching the writing on the wall of costs going up and these tariffs and all that. They may have put a a higher order in to backfill to keep costs down, or at least to manufacture at a lower price, but they could still sell them at the higher price. So it's just a gross beast that we're living in where this kind of shit.
You wonder how long they're going to keep manufacturing that console, right? I mean, I guess it's still as long as it's still profitable for them, but at some point their sales have got to swing. I mean, maybe not. I mean, with this force in price increase, maybe it will force a swing, because I'd look at that console. When you look at it, when you look at it objectively, there's not much of a difference between $150 and $100 difference, right? When you say it used to be $150 more, but now it's only $100. Your brain does some trickery. Your brain does some trickery and be like,
you trick your own brain.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd be like, I think I'll just swing the extra $100 and get the Switch 2 rather than the Switch.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you're doing the OLED, I should say.
I won't get 2 games with this one. I'll just get the 1 game.
Yeah.
Balance.
I'll have to get Donkey Kong later, or maybe Mario Kart, since Mario Kart's the more expensive.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's really a good way to look at the thought that they're using of not raising Switch 2 prices. Because it's going to be that mentality. Well, I just won't get that other game, and I'll just get the better console, and it's going to play my old Mario Odyssey and things like that. They're play better. Plus, you got the free patches.
Yeah, so it's like $100 or $120, depending on if you're looking at Switch or Switch OLED, right? So
yeah, so you're going to roll this stuff around in your head until you get the answer you want.
So you talk yourself into it, right? That's how it always works. You're trying to talk yourself out of it, but you end up talking yourself into it.
Oh yeah, yep. No one will ever know what goes on up here until they see you playing it. Why'd you do it? I don't know.
Yeah, because honestly, we had talked about the Switch 2 for the longest time, and I didn't think Nick was that interested in getting it. I mean, I knew he was interested, but I didn't know.
It was a surprise.
I didn't know that he was interested in it enough to sell his Xbox, to trade in his Xbox for it.
Yeah.
Especially the GameStop, because you know how they just rip you off on that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so him trading that in was like a big surprise to me.
Yeah. I would have bought it from him just to give to Nicholas, you know.
Yeah. Probably would have gotten more than GameStop gave him.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'd have GameStopped him.
Stuck it to him. What are friends for?
Damn right. I'd have brushed his hair.
Good boy.
He's a good boy. But yeah, it's Nintendo. Nintendo's not going to eat the price. No. Nintendo, they've had a lot of time to think about this, because this whole, we're going to do this much. We're going to do this much. We're not going to do a damn thing. We're going to hold off 6 months. We're going to do this. Nintendo has not been around this long by being stupid. So they put a lot of thought into this. But like Pat said, we may have to raise it up later. So once the sales start, rolling in, they'll be like, now
once we start discontinuing that Switch 1, we'll have to raise the Switch 2 prices.
Yep, pretty much.
And now you can no longer get a Switch original OG Switch. Now you got to get a Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
And this, folks, is why you don't call your console Switch. It's Switch 2. Because you can't just call it the Switch anymore.
Nope.
You don't have a cool way of saying, like PlayStation, the PS1, the PS2, PS3, right? Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do with the SW1? The Switch 1, Switch 2? And Xbox's stupid ass naming scheme of Xbox One, Xbox Series. I mean, everybody's just dumb.
Somebody's got one of them spinny wheels with all these different names. And one of those names on there was really freaking cool. Like, Xbox Oblivion or Xbox Ass Kicker. Guy throws a dart.
Hell there.
Xbox One.
Their Xbox One Scorpion Edition was like a cool name. And they're like, we're going to call this one the Xbox One X.
Take off the one.
Yeah.
Just say Scorpion. Xbox Scorpion. That's
they already did that
with
the One X. The Xbox One X was a Scorpion. Like that.
Yeah, they should have just took the freaking one off of it. Xbox Scorpion or Xbox,
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, Nintendo and PlayStation have just sequenced theirs, right? So it's PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, so on and so forth. But they have a cool little moniker of PS1, PS2, PS3s. Yeah. Nintendo don't, though. It's just Switch 1. It's Switch OG and Switch 2.
It's a Switch symbol, and then there's a Switch symbol with a 2. That's it.
Yeah. So, but it is what it is. Nintendo does what Nintendo does, and
they does it all the time. Different.
Yep. So, you got anything else? I think we've kind of beat this one down enough as it's going to get, I mean, it is what it is. If you want to buy the OG, you're going to pay for it. So think twice and maybe go get the Switch 2.
I love my Switch 2. I love Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I love Mario Kart. Yeah. And I'm going to love Metroid when it comes out.
I'm not missing anything, so I'm good.
No, I don't think you really are. I mean, and that's
Metroid would be the thing that I would be missing out on, and that would be a hard pass for me because I'm just not spending that much on a Switch.
And I honestly wouldn't buy the console for that. I would just let you borrow mine. I mean, you just sign in. I just go over to you guys' house. Yeah.
It's all you or Nick live very far from me, so.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you got anything else? I think we're done with this one.
Nope.
All right.
Let's shove it down that warp pipe.
All right. Well, you've heard our take on it. What's your take on it? What's your take on the price increase? Is it really tariffs? You think it's some scheme by Nintendo to get more sales towards the Switch 2? Let us know what you think down in the comments. And as always, hope you enjoyed this episode and hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.